What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And in this review, quick review, I will be reviewing Married to Medicine Season 2, Episode 4. Shout out to my YouTube fan, my old new subscriber, now subscriber, click down below, and let's get into this. By the way, still, it's really two things. I'm not really, going to really discuss that much because it wasn't that much to talk about. But it's just me, and why is every time they show Dr. Hembley, they play the cartoon music, like, you know, Scooby-Dooish, you know, the Hanna-Barbera when they're about to solve mystery, or some comic, like, lack could possibly come in and insert. Because every time she come in now, like, even when she with a daughter, or a lot of times she be talking, it just be do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Just like that. I'm like, are they trying to fly this woman, this little dingy, or something up there, right? Or something, because I just be paid, it just be sound like to be playing little cartoon music. Okay, I know that's irrelevant, but of course we really on the thing with Dr. Simone and Lisa Nicole is really what I'm going to talk about, because that's really what was through this whole episode. Now, Dr. Simone's, we already know one of the things is financial problems seem to be throwing tension between her and her husband, right? Now, he is on his way to this annual golf trip that he been going to. She's like, you know, because Dr. Simone has been married to her husband for 17 years. And she's like, due to financial reason, now, they don't even go on a couple's vacation every year. So why is it important to go on a golf trip every year? And it's like, no, why is nobody? It's just like everybody supposed to be golfing. Okay. So she is deciding to take the time out to have and throw this party. By the way, the Quad, I think, in this episode goes with Lisa Nicole, and she's already, you know, ready to get this dog couture clothing line in stock. You know, everybody, dog owners, be ready to wear Quad Switch. Not to say there's not a demand for this product, you know, but did y'all notice how she did the latest stream, just I guess for one of Lisa Nicole's lines or whatever, and she just was like, you know, okay, yeah, I'm thinking about it or whatever. And you know, Quad just talking some confessionals like, I'm trying to give her a job, whatever. You know, she been, you know, whatever, you know, Ash, but you know, she been in she might try to cash and check her Ash can't balance or something like that. Ash can't check. You know the whole saying, shoot, I forgot. Anyway, so she's talking about this line and stuff like that going on. And, because, you know, I forgot to mention in the last review, we already, Lisa Nicole said if it was between the her and Mariah thing, she's got Quad's back. Okay, she's more close to Quad. We already knew because they were sitting there in the second episode talking about how, you know, Quad looked like the last member of the Ostriches and stuff like that, you know, with all the feathers on and stuff. So, anyways, she sat there and was, you know, at this Simone. Let's go back and back more. So Simone is going to have a party now with Taki Toya, now with certain people. Basically just Lisa Nicole and Quad are the only people coming. And also Quad, by the way, her husband decides to sit there and they were talking, and she doesn't feel like they're talking about the 5 communications, love, and all this other stuff, right? And he decided to talk about hopefully Quad having a baby in the year. I forgot the rest of the words. I can't rhyme. Sorry, y'all. But that's what pretty much he did. And Quad is just like, you know, if y'all hear that, that's my dad acting. You see the silliness I get. I don't know if y'all heard it or not. I'm keeping it in here. Oh, well. So, yeah, that might have been my country. So, anyways, she's basically talking about, you know, she feels like her husband, she's trying to talk, I don't know about the Mariah, but basically about the relationship thing. And he's just like, she feels like he's not listening to her. So she feels kind of offended. And she just feels like he's not listening to her at all. And she actually is hurt by that. But we have to think about it, girl. You are on TV admitting that you're trying to secretly get birth control pills. And y'all not on the same level anyway. Because, Quad, ain't you sitting here and saying that this man wants kids? He seems to be, you know, thinking like maybe not getting pregnant because it's the right time. Not because you sit up here and purposely are scheduled to have sex on days that you're not ovulating, or, you know, it's not the highest of it. And, you know, the ovulating on purpose, you know, you're checking that 28 days, if you know what I mean. And then on top of that, you're trying to secretly get birth control without your husband knowing about it. So that's what I'm saying is y'all seem to be two different terms. So it's problems on both sides of the relationship. And maybe it's communication problems on both sides, at least. Okay. So Anyways, you know, like I said, so Dr. Simone has this party with that pajamas thing. You know, Quad comes in, and Doctor's, you know, Lisa Nicole's already there, and Simone is there, but they don't have the pajamas on. Quad comes in, lovely, pajama bra, I don't know, it's bra, pajama pet set, whatever, with the robe and everything, and shoes, ready to go. She just like, she came in that sucker, which would have been true. Dr. Mom was asking like, now what if you would have got pulled over? She's Quad was just like, you know what, I just would have got arrested again. So all of a sudden, here's a much hilarious part. So, you know, because Quad is like, she feels like these bitches said they told me to come in pajamas, and I'm sitting here in pajamas. Ain't this my bitch? So all of a sudden, Dr. Simone comes out, y'all, with these shorts, you know, these shorts, but they kind of are hiked up, and just some t-shirt on the side with, I guess, as Quad said, you know, the kitten heels with the fur on them. Black shoes, by the way, gray shorts, and a white t-shirt, pajamas. She letting you know she ain't even, it's not even really pajamas. Ain't just like the bootleg one. Someone swear she even had pajamas. I'm surprised she just didn't come out the regular, you know, button up pajamas and just called it a day on that one. Could have just came out with a onesie. Shit. So anyways, they decide to go into the movie theater room, and then we get to find out more problems, like maybe why, besides financial reasons, about other reasons about why the marriage may be okay. She's on stage trying to perform, and we do not know what she was trying to tip, but A for effort, because she just okay. So she sit there and trying to dance stuff, and yeah, that's all I have to say about it. She decided to sit down with the ladies. And it turns out she's like, because of financial reasons, and you know, sex is not her priority. If she had the choice, she would choose sleep over sex and all this other stuff. And then the other two ladies have been like, well, as Quad said, funeral in the bedroom. This is messed up. Then it goes even further, y'all. That when they're talking about you know, because I think both of the other ladies was like, Simone, don't you think about blowing your husband mind once in a while? And she like, I don't blow. And they just sit here, oh gosh, that is, I don't blow at all. There's no, I'm just saying, this is, ooh, okay, we can see, I can't, y'all. So anyways, she's trying to change the subject about, we noticed, by sitting here and like, okay, she's trying to, you know, pull her chair, you know, recline and lay down, and she just like, okay, y'all, let's watch my old movie and stuff. And they sitting here like, Quad's like, you better put that chair back. You know, because Lisa Cole's just in shock too, but it was like, you know, how Quad is, you know, her words always kind of like staying out sometimes. And you know, even Lisa Cole's like, seriously? Really? You know, so yeah. But Simone supposedly gets a picture and realize maybe spicing it up in the bedroom would probably help out her and her husband's marriage. So let's see. Hopefully it does, because that there. So let's get on quickly to the final thing I wanted to talk about. Is Lisa Nicole has recently went to the doctor's office. You know, you see the scene. Her husband's coming home, and she's making cupcakes with the babies. I mean, they're not babies, but you know, I think they may be in the at least 7 and up age bracket. I may be wrong, but you know, she's asking to pour the cupcakes in. I'm like, oh, hoping them babies don't spill. They don't spill this, you know, the cupcake mix. So she has to tell her husband something. It turns out she recently did, like America, you know, breast examination, the doctor's office, and they found some mass in one of her breasts there, and they found some cysts, and they don't know possibly if the cyst, a couple of complicated cysts, and they had to do another test to see or not. It possibly, if you know, if they're bleeding in serious, and they're going to have to do like, I think, a minor procedure to basically remove them. And of course she's worried about it, because it turns out also her mother, that's how she found out that she had cancer. And, you know, was through a breast examination, whatever. And so she's kind of, but also she's trying to put it off because her thing is, it's important. Now her husband's like, you got to think about yourself and get this done. You know, but she's all like this. She only does this women empowering thing to help people, women, financially, spiritually, and everything else. And she's just worried about that. And her husband's like, you gotta think about your family, gotta think about me and everything else, because she didn't like that dude. He's like, we're married, we are one. This does have something to do with me. So he is concerned about her health, but she's worried to a certain point. Like, if she said it had to do with it was cancer, whatever, that's the one thing. But she is concerned about, say, what if the cancer, unfortunately turns to where she possibly, goes, where it's just, terminally forward stage, and she could possibly, basically possibly die. And her warning about about leaving her kids. And it's like, in a way, she's trying to use this event because she is scared about possibly hearing the results, if it is really bad off or not. And that's why she's trying to worry about still thinking about, doing this event, even though, the doctors really want to take care of the situation, right away. She's trying to like, I'm trying to wait extra week, whatever, and, that line. And also earlier this episode, speaking of cancer, it was one of her patients, Dr. Jackie's patients, recently stopped chemotherapy in August. I don't know when this was filmed, if it was filmed like a couple months ago. And she recently, 4 months prior to that, had a baby. Before, I guess, 4 months later, after she had the baby, she had discovered, I think, she also had suffered, from breast cancer. And they were able to detect it. And she was saying sometimes she wish she had better days, this patient was saying. And she was saying that her husband, I think she is upset because, basically he has to basically watch his wife go through this condition and stuff like that. And, to a certain point, people who, care about you and stuff like that, they hate to see their loved ones suffer. And, and was mad about the circumstances of what she's going through. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. So, on the other hand, it's the same to be said about her husband. She admitted, like, again, we know with Dr. Jack's situation, and even she gets teared up when she's talking to this patient, and she's also telling his confessionals, like, her husband just seemed like he was mad, he never got a chance. I think she was saying about basically knowing that the cancer had kind of like interfered and might possibly cause problems in the relationship, and her husband also probably was mad too for the same reason, as how he couldn't do anything about these circumstances. And we all know, because in this case, this woman here was able to have a baby. But we all know with Dr. Jackie's situation, she wasn't able to have kids. And she, she was pregnant when the first time she was diagnosed with breast cancer. But unfortunately, she sadly had a miscarriage with this past child. The child she, when she was pregnant. And, now she's unfortunately incapable of having children because of the cancer the effects of the cancer. So, it was just dealing with like how, sometimes illnesses can affect families and, fertility and everything. It was just kind of, like I said, just kind of most of this episode was kind of on a serious note. And so, fast forwarding back then, now Dr. Jackie is also having this 50 Shades of Pink event going on. And of course, that has something to do, of course, with cancer. And, of course, one of those probably empowerment, type of charity events and things that she usually performs. And so, at the end, Lisa Nicole's already been invited, and stuff like that, and talking to Jackie about this. And then she decides that this was the last scene. She decides to tell Dr. Jackie in another room where she's at the event, crying, trying to avoid not like crying. But she tells her about, the mass and stuff, the breast, and about the same thing. And almost Dr. Jackie gave the same thing her husband was saying, like, what about going about this soon as possible? Why have the empowerment? And she's just like, okay, you really should be taking care of self or whatever, right? And take, stuff like that. But she did give her a hand, like, I'm there for you, even though Dr. Jackie is worried about it, because she did also say about with her mother having this as well. And so she's basically like, I'm there for you and stuff like that. So it's kind of like up in the air about the results. But I hope she's able to pray. I hope she's able, Lisa Nicole's able to pray, able to overcome whatever the results are. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Really wasn't too much other than that stood out to me. So, other than that, y'all have a pleasant weekend. And I definitely will see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care.